Shalom, shalom. This is Mahesh Ramnani from India. I welcome you all on behalf of Golden Eagle Luxury Trains for this presentation on a little known fact about the Jewish Connect, the Jewish community of India. To start with, this is the map of India. We are the world's second largest country in terms of population. We got independence from the British on 15th of August, 1947. Since then, we are a secular nation. This is the country where different religious groups have lived in peace and harmony since centuries. People from across the world have come here and settled and made India their home. When we talk about the Indian population, we are over 1.25 billion people. The majority of us are Hindus, forming around 80% of the total Indian population. The largest minority is of the Muslims. Over 200 Muslims are living in my country. So that makes us the world's second largest Muslim population. Christians form around 2% of the total Indian population. But Good Friday and Christmas are national holidays. The other minority groups are the Sikhs, the Buddhists, the Jains, the Parsis, and the Jews. When we talk about the Jews of India, at the time of independence in 1947, we had almost 60,000 Jews living in this country. But this connection is pretty old. Over 2,000 years of Jewish history is in India. The numbers may be small today. We say just 5,000 Jews live in India. But the community's contribution to India's socio-cultural life is immense. There are four major sects: Bene Israeli, Baghdadi Jews, Cochin Jews, and Bene Menashe. 0.004% of India's population is Jewish. That is one Jew among every 250,000 Indians. Different sects settled in different parts of the country. One of the oldest is Bene Israel. ALIBAGH is the first settlement of Bene Israel. When we talk about this community, the story says that there was a shipwreck and 7 families got stranded at NAVGAON in ALIBAGH. They settled here and they made India their home. They are called Bene Israel, or the sons of Israel. In this town, there is a Jerusalem gate, which is an entrance to the NAVGAON cemetery, and a memorial to commemorate the spot where these Jews arrived for the first time over 2,000 years ago. As the name of the place is ALIBAGH, it is actually a distortion of Eli's Bagh. Bagh in local language means an orchard. So there was one Mr. Eli or ELIYAHOO who owned huge mango orchards and coconut plantations, and the town was named after him as Eli's Bagh or ELIYAHOO's Bagh. But much later, it got distorted as ALIBAGH. In ALIBAGH, we have a beautiful Magen ABOTH synagogue. In this town, not many Jewish families are left, but most of them worked as oil pressers. The locals call them Shanivar Teli, or Saturday oil pressers, as they abstain from working on Saturday, the Shabbat day. These people speak Judeo-Marathi Marathi is a regional language of Maharashtra, and it is also one of the 22 national languages of India. When you walk outside the Jewish homes in ALIBAGH, it's a very common sight to see a slanting mezuzah outside the Jewish homes. Here is an old picture of a Jewish family at the entrance of their home, but on the wall, you can see the Star of David and a Hamza. The big town of Mumbai, which is the financial capital of India. This is the city where Bene Israelis have made their home. There are 9 big synagogues in this city. KNESSET ELIYAHOO is one of those 9 synagogues. This synagogue is located in the heart of Mumbai, in the business district of Kalagoda. It's very well maintained and beautifully decorated. The contribution of the Jews in the field of education is amazing. Jewish community runs 5 schools in India. And this is a picture of Sir Jacob Sassoon High School. And an interesting trivia about this school is, this is located near a predominantly Muslim area. So most of the students studying here are Muslim students. Sir Eli Kaduri School is also one of those 5 schools run by the Jewish community. It is the only one to instruct its students in Marathi, which is the regional language of Maharashtra. Most of the Bene Israel community lives in the city of Mumbai, Pune, and other parts of Maharashtra. In 1948, Bene Israeli numbered around 20,000, but most of them migrated to Israel once Israel was formed in 1948. In 1964, the Rabbinate of Israel declared that the Bene Israel are full Jews in every respect. And another interesting thing about the Bene Israel people is that their family names actually disclose the village they hail from. For example, my friend Joshua Shaporkar, who now lives in Mumbai, his family name Shaporkar reflects that he's Joshua from the village Shapor. David Sassoon and his followers fled Baghdad in 1832, following the pogroms of Daud Pasha. This family is also called the Rothschilds of the East because of the wealth they accumulated in trade and also because of their philanthropic donations to the community. One of the contributions of this family was to the art and architecture of the city. David Sassoon Library and Reading Room, which was founded in 1847, is a beautiful example of Indo-Gothic architecture. Talking about Bombay, or the city which is now known as Mumbai, this is where we have Indian film industry, which is also called the Bollywood. World's largest film industry is in India. And there was a time in the cinema when men had to play the roles of women, as among the Hindu and Muslim women, it was not considered decent to enact in this new medium, which was the cinema. And the Jewish community being very progressive, few Jewish actors started acting in Indian films. And there were 4 Jewish women who were very popular in Indian cinema at one time. Ruby Myers, she had beautiful eyes, and her stage name was Sulochana, which literally translated means one with the beautiful eyes. She was a very popular actress of the silent movies era, and later on, talkies remade of her silent era movies in the 1930s and the 40s. She was one of the first Indian actors to own a Rolls-Royce. She started producing films in the late 30s and unfortunately made huge losses. Much later in life, in 1970s, she was awarded the highest award of the Indian film industry by the government of India, called Dada Saheb Phalke Award. And after her death in 1983, there was a postage stamp issued by the Postal Department. Another actress, Esther Victoria Abraham, Florence Ezekiel Nadira, Ramala Devi, they were the four female actresses who were very, very popular in those days. One of the male Jewish actor, David Abraham Cheulkar, he enacted in a lot of movies in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. He was lovingly called David Uncle. There is one film producer who has made a documentary. His name is Danny Ben Moshe. He has made a documentary called Shalom, Bollywood. It's the untold story of Indian cinema. Talking about Cochin, the city of Paradesi Jews, Cochin is on the southwest coast of India. It is also called the Malabar coast. So the Cochin Jews are also called Kochi Jews or Malabari Jews. They came to India during the time of King Solomon and settled on the southwest coast of India. Much later in the 15th century came the Jews from Spain and Portugal, who were also called the White Jews or Paradesi Jews. There was a time in Kerala when a local king gave a small territory to a Jewish rabbi, and there was a little Jewish kingdom in Kerala up to 15th century. Much later, the Jewish sought refuge with a local Hindu king who gave them a small town to settle, which today is known as the Jew town in Cochin. We have Paradesi Synagogue. It is the oldest active synagogue in the Commonwealth of Nations. It was constructed in 1568. It has beautiful Chinese tiles on the floor and gleaming chandeliers hanging from the ceiling from Belgium. This is a picture of a Jewish couple from Cochin dressed up in their wedding attire. Kolkata, the east coast of India. Kolkata was also at one time the capital of British India. Calcutta, as it was called in those days, now it is called Kolkata. This is the city of Baghdadi Jews. Baghdadi Jews came from Aleppo and Baghdad, and they spoke Judeo-Arabic. Much later, they made English their language of communication, and they traded in cotton, jute, spices, and opium. Here we have the picture of Magen David Synagogue, which was built in 1884 in the Italian Renaissance style with a brick red finish, the checkered marble floor, gleaming chandeliers, stained glass windows, and ornate floral pillars were shipped from Paris. This synagogue was recently restored. For more than 100 years, the synagogues in Calcutta have been cared for by Muslims. It's an interesting thing in India that people from different religious backgrounds have lived in peace and harmony since time immemorial. One of the Jewish legacy which will still exists in Calcutta is NAHOUM'S bakery. It's a 116-year-old Jewish bakery in Kolkata and famous for their plum cakes. Talking about some of the famous Indian Jews around the globe, one is ANISH Kapoor. He's a British Indian sculptor. He was born in India in the city of Mumbai to a Jewish mother and a Hindu father. He spent many years in Israel before he moved to UK. He's also famous for his Cloud Gate, a public sculpture in Chicago. Talking about Lieutenant General J.F.R. Raphael Jacob, he was one of the most famous Indian Jews. He served in World War II, Indo-Pak War of 1965. In 1971, during the war with Pakistan, he served as Chief of Staff of the Indian Army Eastern Command. He was also decorated with PVSM, Param Vishisht Seva Medal, a military award of India. It is awarded in recommendation to peacetime service of the most exceptional order. However, one interesting incident of 1971 Indo-Pak War is that General Jacob was assigned the job of getting General Niazi of East Pakistan to sign the instrument of surrender. In his meeting with General Niazi, he told him there were 30,000 Indian troops outside the city of Dhaka. If he does not sign the instrument of surrender, General Niazi would be responsible for the safety of his people and their families. After telling this to General Niazi, General Jacob gave him 30 minutes to decide, and he went outside the office and said a Jewish prayer, Shema Israel. After 30 minutes later, General Niazi agreed to surrender with his troops, which was one of the biggest victories for India against Pakistan. Later, General Jacob shared that it was a gamble, as there were 3,000 Indian troops and not 30,000, and they were nowhere close to the city of Dhaka. They were almost 60 kilometers away. General Jacob also served as governor of Punjab and Goa. Here he can be seen with our Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi. Israel honored General Jacob with the plaque on Ammunition Hill Wall of Honor. Another group of Jews who live in the northeastern part of the country, in the state of Manipur, and the area is called CHURACHANDPUR. They are called BNEI MENASHE. BNEI MENASHE means the sons of Menashe. They claim they are the descendants of the lost tribe. The movement began in 1951 when a tribal leader reported having a dream that his people's ancient homeland was Israel. In 2005, the chief rabbi of Israel ruled that the BNEI MENASHE were recognized as part of lost tribe. After undergoing the process of formal conversion, they will be allowed immigration. So many BNEI MENASHEs from Manipur have migrated to Israel, and for almost an year, they undergo this process of conversion before they are accepted as Jews. There is one community called Bene Ephraim Jews. They are also called Telugu Jews, who are settled in the Guntur district of Andhra Pradesh. They are called Telugu Jews because of the language they speak is Telugu. As the name suggests, Bene Ephraim, that means sons of Ephraim, they also claim that they are descendants of one of the lost tribes. However, so far they have not yet been accepted by the rabbinate of Israel. Since the formation of Israel in 1948, many Indian Jews have migrated to Israel. Majority of them are settled in places like Nevatim, Shahar, Mesilat Zion, Beersheba, Ramallah, Dimona, and Yeruham. The Jewish connection has been very old, over 2000 years of Jewish history in India. I hope you enjoyed this brief presentation. Thank you very much. We have 2 tours in India, Darjeeling Mail and the Madras Mail, and would request you to watch our Indian journey showcases on Golden Eagle Luxury Trains YouTube channel. Thank you for your time. Shalom, namaste from India.